This is overtime here on OSN. The Ottawa Senators with a 7-4 victory over the San Jose Sharks. Oliver Sage and unnamed Ben Soulier. Every time I'm like, I should probably know how to just write your name in there.
I can be anonymous.
Not with that voice. Not with that shirt.
Infamy.
So the Ottawa Senators, Ben, get by, I would say, the San Jose Sharks. This is the type of game I thought we were going to get, from sloppy goaltending to on both sides. But Ottawa found a way at 4-4 to get that all-important fifth goal, and then soon thereafter, the number 6 goal. But this was not pretty, but I'm sure all Sens fans would take this right now with another 2 points and back to within 3 of the playoffs as we sit right now.
Yeah, perfect weekend for the Sens. Probably didn't want to draw it up this way, but you take the money and run.
Well, Drake Batherson's going to take anything he can get. Not 1, but 2 goals where he did not shoot the puck at the net.
Right place, right time.
I think that's interesting. From putting the puck in front of the net and Ferraro scoring to off of his, I think it was off of his chest. He was kind of showing a teammate off of his chest, shoulder area. Do we think Artem Zub shot that puck? Because that is the game winner. Do we think he shot that puck on purpose towards the crowd, or it was just a really bad shot?
Just a really bad shot.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he just wanted to shoot the puck because that's what the Sens should have been doing all night long.
Yeah.
And got it off quickly, and good things happen when pucks go to the net.
Yeah, I said that to you, and it doesn't take I'm not the biggest brain surgeon in the world to know that. Don't have to shake your head so quickly on that one. That Laurent Brossoit, who had not played a game since 2024, was in the net for San Jose, and he looked like he was not centered all night long, is the way I would put it. Kind of swimming a little bit, like out of position. 3 of the first 4 goals, I thought, like, Fogel's goal was awful. Cleven's goal was not that much better. And I'd have to go back and actually look at the game sheet for to remember all of the goals from Ottawa, because it was not and Fabian Zetterlund from the point. Great shot, but nobody in front. Gotta stop it.
Yeah, they partway through the game, they realized just put pucks on net and hope for the best.
Look who's in on the chat already. How about Zetterlund scoring a goal against his former team, says Z Gibbon. Also says, or as Paul McLean called him, yeah, that's Zetterberg. That's what Paul McLean. I'm glad you caught that, Zach, because I just don't like watching intermissions. I don't get anything out of them. So poor Ben is, well, the first one we were trying to get our AEW wrestling situation.
Yeah, my AEW working. Yeah. Seems to be working.
Okay, that's good.
We're broadcasting from the UK as we speak.
I'm not sure that we want to broadcast where we're broadcasting from, but
I don't think Tony Khan cares. He just wants the money.
Okay. Fair enough. We were getting that set up in the first period, but in the second period, I'm like, yeah, I can't. I just can't. So glad you caught that, Zach. Of course, he called him Zetterberg, but
player 61.
Player 61. Good day, bruvs. See, that's what we got. I was going to wear my pink. Oh, watch the microphone, Lee. I was going to wear my pink to match the Proto Stars pink shirt. I got a nice chair here.
Yeah, I'm a little slouchy already.
Yeah,
but it's kind of the chair wants to eject me forward.
We'll get her done. Look, this is a game for Ottawa. They just had to have, like, in the middle of that third period when Michael Misa scored, which was not a great goal for a couple of reasons. Jordan Spence, you like watching games with me. I rewind every goal to go like, when what happened there? And like, I still don't know where Jordan Spence was going.
He was going for a stroll. He was doing his own thing.
Like, he just went over the other side of the ice and left his area unattended. And Michael Misa went down. Now the goal still can't go in. Bad goal on Linus Ullmark. It was not very good.
I thought the game was going to end with like the last goalie to make a save was going to win the game for their team, but it just ended up that anything you put on net was going in. So
yeah,
Ottawa turned it back on towards the end, had a couple of goals go in, and then we're able to kind of wrap things up with that empty netter.
So the one thing that I did think Ottawa did a better job of, even though the score was 4-4, it was only 2-1 San Jose after 1. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
But from the end of the first period on, San Jose only got 10 shots. And that's what Ottawa does, but they weren't really doing it in the first period. Maybe the Sharks still have their legs from last night and they kind of wore down as the game went on, but also Ottawa does a better job. And when you hold that team to 10 shots on goal through 2 periods, like they still got 2 more goals off of those 10 shots. Linus Ullmark was not great. So you kind of wipe this one away now and go, okay, we got everything we needed to get this weekend. As you said, 4 points on the weekend, but I'm still not confident in their goaltending.
Yeah, I think, like I said before, you take the 4 points and you move on, and you kind of are happy though that Ullmark got the back-to-back starts and the back-to-back wins, because I think that's good for him, especially coming off of a game where I think if you had somebody else in nets that was, I don't know, more focused or more dialed in, you could have beaten the Habs. So to go back-to-back with him, get the back-to-back wins, maybe start Reimer on Wednesday rather than having to go back-to-back or whatever you want to do. It just gives you a little bit more flexibility with that game on Wednesday. And Ullmark can get a couple days rest before that game, or you put Ullmark in for the second half of the back-to-back.
Yeah, the good news is they'll be home in their beds if they want to at 9:00 tonight, or even before that, depending on how close they live. So that won't be an issue. They'll get a good night's rest tonight, and then they don't play for 2 more days. They're in Washington, so they'll fly out on Tuesday, play in Washington Wednesday, quick trip home, and then the Islanders will be here on Thursday. And I just was going to check if the Islanders were also playing on Wednesday, and they are not. So the Islanders, who are in Toronto on Tuesday, will be here in Ottawa Tuesday night, and then Ottawa will play Wednesday in Washington. The Islanders sitting back waiting for them here. So that becomes a tougher game just with the Islanders schedule.
Yeah, that's where I would go with Reimer against Washington, a team that Ottawa has always played well against, especially historically and in the past couple of years. But and then go back to Ullmark against the Islanders and hope you can claw, scrape, do everything you can to get at least a point out of the aisle.
I mean, for Linus Ullmark, you'd like to see him play better, but he still got the shutout yesterday.
Yep.
And made a couple of good saves as the game went along. It's the Misa goal to me. It's 4-3. You're in the third period. You finally have a lead. You're going to lock them down. They're not getting a lot of shots, and it's like the first decent chance. I wouldn't even, it's kind of like a half chance goes in, and you're like, oh,
here we go again.
I think the players are kind of feeling that way. Zach said, "Good day, bruvs."
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Because we're in the UK.
Well, that's why.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, I know. So who else stuck out to you in this game? Because they did get some goals from the likes of Zetterlund and Clevin in this game, to guys that they don't usually get goals from. What did you like about the game?
Despite that misstep from Jordan Spence, I actually thought he had a pretty solid game as well. Didn't see what he had finished the game with in terms of plus minus or what he was on the ice for, but made a couple of really smart plays in the offensive zone. We talked about him before the game that he leads the league in expected 5-on-5 goals for. And you can just kind of see like he's got some really good decision making that he, especially in the offensive zone, and some good puck retrievals as well. So I thought he looked really good. It was nice to see Clevin step up on that goal. And then Warren Fogle, still, I don't know if he's found exactly the spot that he'll stick in on this team, but definitely contributed, had a huge blocked shot, the goal and the assist. So I don't know if it was his best game as an Ottawa Senator, but definitely noticeable out there.
While you were talking, I was just looking up Ullmark's record career versus the Capitals. It's very ordinary. 7-5-2 with a 900 save percentage.
Hey, I'll take the 900 at this point. 900 usually means the Sens can win.
You said Jordan Spence. So Jordan Spence tonight had an assist, was a +1, 1735 tonight. He did have 3 giveaways. Ottawa had 11 giveaways, and 6 of them were from Shabbat and Spence. But those guys are the guys breaking the puck out of the zone more often than not. So not going to completely fault them. But Thomas Shabbat again, 28-29.
Yep, they'll ride the horse till he breaks, unfortunately.
Well, that's the worry right now, is just having to get there. Like, I know people get excited. You can see the rest of the ice time is pretty evened out. The one I thought was interesting tonight. Yeah, exactly. So who do you think got the least amount of ice time tonight of any player?
I would assume it's Gilbert, but I didn't actually check it.
Nope. Gilbert played almost 14 minutes tonight. Couple of hits, didn't give away the puck, had a shot on goal.
Wow.
Yeah, he was like one kind of misstep where he went forward and the oncoming rusher was able to absorb the hit and still get by him. That he needs to be a little bit more forceful. There was one time, but I mean, pretty much not noticeable, which is a really good thing. But the least amount of ice time of any Ottawa Senator tonight, Claude Giroux.
Wow. Given the veteran some time off. So he must have been.
Feels like he might have been. You know what? I will go look at, I'll be very careful when I say the shift chart. I have made mistakes on that before.
Just checking to see if maybe something happened towards the end of the game. See if he was back on the ice or if they just started double shifting some other guys to see if they were going.
Yeah, but it feels like that's a weird one for me.
I think he assisted on the Batherson goal, though. So he was definitely out there.
Yeah,
late.
no, he had plenty of shifts in the third period. I mean, it is kind of weird here that, like, I look at the times and I wonder if he went out and took the face off and got back off, because he had 4 shifts in the third period of 19 seconds, 11 seconds, 18 seconds, and 18 seconds.
I could be mistaken, but I thought at one point they had Giroux, Kachuk, and Pinto on for a defensive zone face-off. Right. So maybe he was the Fogo on that shift, face-off, get off, and hopes that somebody doesn't get thrown out of the circle. And if somebody does, then you've got somebody else there to take the draw.
Thank you for explaining Fogo. We've had BOTG. That was a huge issue for some of us. That would be Zach. Ethan is in. Evening, gents. We're in the Ethan bus tonight. And Tanner says, see you soon, gentlemen. Might be wrapped up by then. Batherson's now 10th all-time among Sens goal scorers.
Could you get the other 9 without looking them up?
Okay.
So get rid of the easy ones.
No. Heatley, Spezza, Alfredson, Hossa, Stone,
Yashin?
Oh, I would think Marty Havlat would be up there, but
missed a lot of time.
But he did miss a lot of time. Zach, I hope you have the list ready to go at that point, instead of just reading some stat that went over your timeline. This is where fact checking is the difference. But speaking of which, just about stats and not. We'll go back to this because I'll list them off again because I hope you were keeping count of the amount that I
think you got up to 6
that I got. How about Claude Giroux tying for 60th all time in points in the history of the National Hockey League? And then who does he tie? Daniel Alfredson.
Guy behind him on the bench tonight.
That was pretty cool.
That's crazy to think how many, players have gone through the NHL and he's in the top 60 all time.
Yeah.
And then you think about how good of a player somebody like Daniel Alfredson was, including multiple 100-point seasons.
Mm-hmm.
It just shows the longevity and the production from Claude Giroux, even at the tail end of his career.
Well, yeah, we'll pull up like the all-time goal scorers in the history of the NHL. He's going to be in some very, very, very fine company.
Yep.
For the Sens top 10,
Mike Fisher.
He didn't score a ton of goals. He was
but longevity, like how many seasons has Batherson been here? You got to think about that and try to do the math and figure out who else is on that list.
Yeah, the problem is you forget a lot of those names to me. Like after,
how long was Mike Hoffman here for?
I was going to say like from 2008 when they started to be bad again through to kind of 15, like 2014, 2015 with Mark Stone. Like there's a bunch of names in there that you're like, I don't know.
Zach says Havlat's not on the list. I didn't think he would be. Fisher is in there.
So Fisher is in there. Okay,
so let's count these off.
Don't be reading stuff that it's not up on the. You named a bunch of them. Havlat is not in there. By the way, Julian's in. Hello, gentlemen. Nice to see some production by Zetterlund finally. See, I don't agree, Julian. Maybe that's good for his confidence, but that goal just can't go in and probably doesn't go in against most goaltenders. So I don't know, like, is Zetterlund giving you more because he got a goal against a goalie that hasn't played in 2 years? It's a good shot. It's fine. Like, and that's what they should be doing, shooting the puck towards the net. But that goal's not going in on most NHL goalies.
Yeah,
it's just not.
I think Zetterlund still is struggling to find a spot on this team because you're paying him too much and he's too much of an offensive player to be sitting on your fourth line. So maybe a swing and a miss in terms of Staios giving up the 2 second-round picks for him. Not necessarily because that was the wrong decision at the time, just not a fit on the team so far.
Trying to think. Yashin, you said Yashin's got to be on there.
Yeah, he scored a ton and was there, even though, kind of left on less than great terms, but was there long enough that I feel like he'd be in the top 10 with the amount of goals he was scoring.
I do too.
Okay, so let's name them off. We'll count them off. So one,
Alfie Spezza Heatley.
Yeah, those are 3. We know how our Fisher's there, so that's 4.
Yeah,
so Mark Stone is 5.
Host has got to be on there. We said Host, didn't we?
Yeah, so that'd be Host is 6. So we're missing 3 other guys.
Well, it's 6. And Batherson.
Yeah, and Batherson would be number 10. So yeah, maybe Mike Hoffman might be in there.
I think it's possible. Ethan says with a different goalie coach, Linus doesn't let in 4. LOL. Can't believe I let that on the air. But I did. No Mark Stone, says Zach McGibbon.
Wow. I guess injuries too. I didn't think he missed that much time, but yeah, I guess like highest of highs, but not a long time. And
would Eric Carlson be there?
No Mike Hoffman either. Wow. Well, this is a good trivia question. You know who would know? Ian Mendez.
I know. Well, I would hope so now. He's got all these things memorized, but he probably knew it beforehand.
Yeah, he probably had it.
There's definitely guys
we're not thinking of. Kyle Turris. Don't know if he was here long enough, but
yeah, I don't know that he would have got that many.
Yeah. Is Tim Stützle on this list?
I think there's a possibility that he would be be on this list.
He'd have more goals than Batherson, I guess. I think Batherson's got an extra year on him on the team, but This is a good trivia question.
Is Tim Stützle on the list? That would be.
We could just call up the list ourselves.
I know, but that's cheating. That
Show me Timmy Stew.
exactly. It's a good question. Must be Boris Kachuk.
Tim Stützle is on the list, and I did that thing you hate.
Yeah, I know. What is this thing? All of a sudden, you just react all the time.
Yeah, new guy. Just learning the ropes.
But we put together Tim Stützle.
Yeah.
So now there's only two.
Yeah.
Have we said Mike Hoffman? Like, have we? Yeah, we guessed Mike Hoffman.
Yeah. Travis Hamonic did it again.
Okay, you can't again. I can't.
All right, I'll stop.
I can't have you doing this anymore because it's not up for everyone to see. And then Tanner's just firing off like ridiculous. Julian saying, "I know Hammond." They're all in the same car, which is Don't be looking it up either. Don't be doing that.
I'm not looking anything up.
Feels like you are.
Nope.
Okay. Why would you need to check your phone though in the middle of a show if that were the case?
Because I'm ordering something.
Oh, well, if it's for later.
Yeah, it's for later.
Are you ordering?
I've already ordered.
Well, then what?
Getting confirmation from the delivery guy.
Well, the delivery guy needs to step up on his own.
I wouldn't have trusted him to make this decision.
Oh, it's gonna be good times. So for Ottawa, there's some more good news here as I go to the scoreboard that the Montreal Canadiens are down 1-0 at the first intermission to the Anaheim Ducks. Leo Carlson's 22nd of the year. So that's good. For Ottawa, that's the only other game that really matters to them tonight. But they could use all the help that they can get because they go in these wild swings. There's been 2 nights where they got like zero help from like all of the teams are winning. And then they had Thursday night where like every one of the teams lost.
Yep.
So
I think that's where consistency really helps them in that they haven't been out of too many games.
No.
And just having that consistency, beating the games or beating the teams you should beat, hopefully pays dividends at the end of the season. Obviously, we talked about on the pregame show that game against Detroit probably is going to end up being the biggest game of the season because it's a big 4-point swing, and who knows what the standings even look like come that game.
Yeah, that's on March 24th as we sit here on the 15th, and it feels far away because the Senators have 4 more games before that. Like the schedule, yeah, they don't play for a couple days, but after that, it's Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday. They have, 5 games in 7 days?
It's a busy schedule.
That's actually as busy as it gets. I don't think any team would play more than 5 times in 7 days. So once they hit the ice Wednesday, it's a lot. Washington, the Islanders, Toronto, the Rangers, and Detroit all in 7 days.
Might literally be the most amount you're allowed to play.
Yeah, you wouldn't
based on the NHLPA.
Yeah, you wouldn't be allowed to play more than that. So get your rest now.
Yep.
Because these are the games, all of the games. But I think you look back on the Ottawa Senators lost twice to Carolina. And one of those games, you're like, well, they should have beat them on the February the 3rd, and James Reimer was in net. If James Reimer wasn't in net, they probably win that game.
Yeah, the stretch that really hurts is that Montreal, Detroit, and Nashville, where 2 overtime losses and then the loss to Nashville, where probably could have and should have had additional points there, and then they'd be in a playoff spot right now.
Yeah, well, the Nashville game, they're up 3-0 with like a minute and a half to go in the second period, and they lost in regulation. Like that's a killer.
Yeah, especially with it being so off-brand for them.
Zach says, would you like a hint on the 2 remaining Sens goal scorers? Yes, please. Thank you. Give us a little bit of...
I feel like we're missing a really obvious one.
I know.
I feel like one is going to be less obvious. It's going to be like Radek Bonk. And then the other will be...
Did you know that bonk spelled backwards is knob?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I don't think you did. I think you just realized it right now. I think you learned that today.
That's his son is think he'll be in the NHL like next year. I don't know if it'll be full time, but Oliver Bonk.
Not Olivier. That's good.
Who knows? Could pronounce it that way.
Okay, Zach, come on. Hints. Let's go. Get those typing fingers going. We need 2 more here. Top 10 all-time Ottawa Senators goal scorers, as Drake Batherson has moved into the top 10. Tim Stützle already there.
Oh, is it Brady?
No.
Yeah.
You think Brady has more goals than Drake Batherson?
Yeah. Yeah, he's got almost a couple of 30.
Well, one's a current Senator.
Yeah, so
I guess you're right. Because I know it's not Fabian Zetterlund or Tyler Clevin who scored tonight for the Ottawa Senators. So it's got to be.
The obvious one we were missing was Brady Tkachuk.
And what did he say? It's a 90s Senator?
Yeah, so it's got maybe Radek Bonk. Sean McEachern, probably not. I don't know if he was here long enough.
Like Dag didn't.
No, don't think so. Vinny Prospel, not long enough. Like if Marty Havlat's not on there, it's got to be somebody like Bonk. Magnus Arvidsson probably was. Vermette?
No, he wasn't a 90s guy. He was a 2000s
Yeah, I guess
guy.
2000 guy.
Radek
Bonk is correct. Oh, so I did nail the last 2.
I would know that if it was up on the goddamn screen. You're not going to be allowed back here. I'm telling you right now. No chat for you anymore.
Just block it out. I got to focus on looking on you.
Focus on what you're saying.
I need blinders.
Yes, you have them often with some of your comments. However, nice list, though. Ethan says must be legendary. Senator Matt Pumple. You know what? Matt Pumple's a good kid. I covered Matt Pumple in junior with the Peterborough Petes. I wanted that guy to succeed. I did. And he just wasn't. He had a lot of great moves, but he wasn't big enough for his game to translate to the National Hockey League level. That was a tough draft. I covered the draft.
Oh, those 3 picks in a row.
So they went into the draft in 2011. Before the draft, they had 2 first rounders and 3 second rounders. And they ended up trading 2 of those second rounders up
to get Pumple,
to get another pick.
Yep.
And their picks were Mika Zibanejad,
Stefan Nason, Matt
Pumple.
And then Shane Prince in the second round?
Yeah. And so, especially the Zibanejad one, I don't know. Like it's hard now. And Zibanejad's obviously still playing.
Yep.
Right? So good player. But do you remember who was picked right after Zibanejad?
Mark Scheifele?
Yeah, he's still playing too.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Yeah, one was it Landeskog 1 or Ryan Nugent-Hopkins 1?
Nugent-Hopkins 1.
1, Landeskog 2, 3, was it Adam Larson?
I want to say Larson was 4th, but I'd have to go back.
Strome went right before Mika.
Yeah, he was 5th.
Huberdeau is somewhere in there.
3.
3?
Huberdeau was 3.
So, yeah, so it's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Gabriel Landeskog, Huberdeau, Adam Larson, Ryan Strome, Mika Zibanejad, Scheifele, and then Sean
Couturier.
Yep.
I think they could have used either Sean Couturier or Mark Scheifele more than Mika Zibanejad.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the time you were hoping biggest boom potential. But yeah, Sean Couturier was so automatic.
Yeah.
And he had mono, I think, in that last part of the season. And his production dropped off, but everyone's like, this guy's so good defensively. He stepped into the NHL the next year and was one of the best defensive players in the East.
I remember going to Gatineau a lot, watching, and Sean Couturier played for Drummondville.
Yep.
And they came in the second round, and Gatineau beat them in that round with Jean-Gabriel Pajot kind of shutting him down. But he was, when you watched him and you heard all of the hype about him, you were like, I don't see it, but here that he's really not feeling well. And he really wasn't feeling well. I would have taken either of those guys.
Mark Scheifele was a guy that went up the
Yeah.
the order like late in the season. So it was like a late, and so I mean, so was Mika. Mika was outside the top 15 for most of the year.
But my point of view from Scheifele was that I covered him and saw him a lot in Barrie, and he was like off the chart. Like that guy is going to be amazing for a long time. And he was, as you said, even going into the draft, Scheifele at 7 was like, oh wow, that's on Winnipeg. But I didn't think that when Winnipeg picked him. Because he was so good. He scored classic, one of the best games I've ever been to in my life. It was game 7, 67s in Barrie in the playoffs. And Ottawa scored. Barrie took a too many men on the ice penalty with like 2.5 minutes to go. Crazy atmosphere, and Ottawa scored. And while they were announcing the goal and Ottawa was kind of celebrating, Mark Scheifele came in and scored with like 20 seconds to go to force overtime. And like the people who were celebrating in the stands thought they just won the series, didn't even realize that Scheifele had scored. The horns were going off. The people were celebrating. The guy was making the announcement. And Scheifele scoring to tie the game in game 7. It was, anyway, gamer. And then Brett Gustafson scored from the corner, like literally from the icing corner to win for the 67s. But Scheifele was probably when I say gamer, like that guy that just sort of had all the intangibles, might have been the best player I ever saw with all of the intangibles that I got to see on a regular basis in junior hockey. I loved Mark Scheifele. And so the fact when he went up and got taken 7th, I was really happy for Winnipeg, but I thought Ottawa could have got him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Mika was very productive in Ottawa, but there was always those questions about his commitment and his compete level and stuff like that. Even though he, especially in junior, or not junior, but in the Swedish Elite League, had that like really high motor and seemed to be all over the place. And then that seemed to drop off within a couple of seasons in Ottawa. And then it really took the kind of the kick in the backside of being traded for him to get elevated back up to where Ottawa, I think, thought he was going to be.
Yeah, I agree. And then, but look, this isn't to tell tales out of school, but the New York Rangers were a mess for a long time. And a lot of guys going in different directions on that team. And, hearing stories from the mouths of the people that were coaching at the time, I would say that Mika was one of the issues. Now, wasn't the only one.
Yep.
And I don't mean to single him out that way. We're just talking about him, but he was one of the issues as far as that team commitment play in New York was concerned, at least according to one of their head coaches that went through. But we get back to the Ottawa Senators, and as you look to the race now, it looks a lot better, doesn't it? For the Ottawa Senators at 77 points. Still 2 behind the Columbus Blue Jackets, but now 3 behind both Boston and Detroit, and they have a game in hand on the Red Wings. They are 4 back of Pittsburgh and the Islanders. They have a game in hand on the Islanders, and they obviously play the Islanders coming up this week on Thursday after they face Washington. Now, Washington and Philly, they're still in it. Washington is now 3 points back of Ottawa, but they've played 2 more games than the Senators have. So they're in desperate mode right now, Washington. So that game Wednesday night against the Capitals will be like their season's really on the line against Ottawa in that game. And then you face an Islanders team that right now you're 4 points behind. And I'm guessing
could be less than 4 points by the time we play them.
Well, no, not 4 points behind the Islanders.
What are the Islanders at?
They're at 81. Ottawa's at 77.
Yeah, right. So,
it can't be less because Ottawa has no ability to gain points until
Wednesday. The game. So
until Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just making sure I'm not talking crazy here.
But the Islanders are in Toronto on Tuesday.
Oh, not good for Ottawa.
Not good.
Not good for the Chase.
I'm going to tell you that the Leafs not a great hockey team. But man, you look at even like we went through Detroit's schedule. You look at the Islanders' schedule after that Toronto game, they have Ottawa, Montreal, and Columbus back to back. And those are all teams that are
clawing.
Well, they're all within 4 points right now of the Islanders.
So I could totally be wrong in the 3 teams, but I thought I saw a graphic that said hardest schedules remaining based on winning percentage.
Yeah, but
based on winning percentage for the schedule of the games remaining, the top 3, or at least I think 3 of them were Boston, Detroit, and Montreal.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything to me. And I don't mean to just throw away your hard-working stats like that. But when you do that, it takes you look at some of the best teams, and Tampa's in free fall right now because they don't care. But they're also, when you look at a strength of schedule, they're way up there on the strength of schedule. But I would much rather be facing Tampa right now than I would like one of these teams that's right in that scrum. Because how many teams are in there? Like within 4 points, you have Pittsburgh, the Islanders, Boston, Detroit, Columbus, and Ottawa. They're all within 4 points, 6 teams. Right now. And can Philly get up in there? Can Washington get up in there? We'll see. But 2-2 now, early second. Wow.
Goals are flying.
It was 1-0 after 1. So there's been 3 goals in the first 3 minutes of the second period in Montreal. So 2-2. Cole Caulfield and Alex Newhook have goals in the second period, a minute apart.
That's a hat trick?
That scared the heck out of me. I have people. I'm not going to get you to get that clip because I think an ad came on when I was checking the score, and I was like, "What is that? That's not great television."
At least you're wearing your brown pants.
Yeah, they're green actually, but thanks for noticing. Leo Carlson's got both for the Ducks.
I think he's got all 3.
It's 2-2.
Oh, right. Sorry. I thought he had scored in the first period, but yeah, it was showing.
Well, it's 2-2.
Yeah.
You can only have 2. You can only have 2. We're back to this numbers game again, talking crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's Ottawa hoping, for Anaheim to be able to just find a way in that game. But that's scoreboard watching, and I love.
Pay us back for the Stanley Cup.
Yes, 20 years later.
20 years later.
You're still not over it, are you? They were the better team, by the way.
Yeah, I'm more disappointed that we lost to the New Jersey Devils that one year.
Sorry, who's we?
The fan base of Ottawa.
Oh, okay. I know Tanner's screaming at his radio again. Guys, come on. Just looking ahead to the schedule coming up before Ottawa plays. So Boston in New Jersey coming up tomorrow night, and then Pittsburgh in Colorado, Detroit at home to Calgary. We talked about that in the pregame show. That's a must win for Detroit. You just cannot let the Calgary Flames come in and beat you.
Got to stop the bleeding
with the schedule that they have. And then coming up on Tuesday, again, Boston's in action twice. I didn't realize they'd have games in New Jersey and in Montreal before Ottawa plays again. Columbus is hosting Carolina. The Islanders are in New York. So there's a lot of teams that are still in action in front of Ottawa before they play again. So you got to hope that if you get a little bit of scoreboard help, though, in the next couple of days, Ottawa's going to be in decent shape because they'll have a couple of games on teams at this point. And if they can stay in that 3 to 4 point range back, they're going to be okay.
We talked about before the Montreal game whether or not Ottawa would be dead in the water after this weekend, and we said if they don't beat Montreal, then they need 4 points out of the weekend. They got the 4 points. It means everything is still on the table for them.
Yep.
And
they got a bunch of help the next night on the Thursday night where all the teams lost and they got 4 points. Now, it didn't necessarily go their way Saturday with the rest of the teams, but all the teams they needed to lose lost on Thursday, and they've done, as you said, their work this weekend.
Yep. Took care of business. and hopefully they can just kind of carry on that momentum through the next week. And hopefully by the time we get to that Detroit game, it's again the most important game of the season.
Well, most important one is the next one here for the Ottawa Senators. However, it is 7-4. The Ottawa Senators win and beat tonight the San Jose Sharks and hold Macklin Celebrini to 1 assist and a -1, which again, they've done a decent job at more than decent at shutting down other guys, other teams' top guys.
Yeah, it's something that you kind of alluded to how important Shane Pinto is in shadowing some of those big time players, and he was all over Celebrini tonight. I'd love to see his deployment and see how often he was matched up against him. I know there was key face-offs where they basically brought everybody out to try to win the draw against Celebrini to prevent that offensive zone possession time. But yeah, overall, like obviously Celebrini looks amazing. He's just so smart,
so fast,
and Ottawa did a pretty good job containing him, minus the 1 assist.
Yeah, Pinto played 19-15 tonight. $150 shorthanded. I mean, he doesn't get a ton of power play time. He's the shutdown guy, and I thought he did that quite effectively tonight. So 7-4, Ottawa wins. And next game coming up on Wednesday in Washington against the Capitals before returning home on Thursday against the Islanders. Will we have a new AEW World Champion tonight?
I think so.
You do think so? I do not think so. But we're about to find out. We appreciate everyone being here on This Is Overtime. The show is ending, but the wrestling is just beginning, so we have to go. However, we'll be back on Wednesday with another program for Ben Soublier. Other than doing this is not a shtick, by the way, of you reading this stuff before it comes up on the screen, but you're past now the new kid on the block thing. Are we past that now?
We'll see.
No, you don't get to decide that. I get to decide that.
Benhausen makes his own appearances.
Oh boy. And we're done when Benhausen is mentioned here on the program. So for Ben Soublier, I'm Lee Versage. Thanks very much. Again, 7-4, Ottawa wins against the San Jose Sharks, and now 3 points out of a playoff spot, back in action on Wednesday. Have yourselves a great night.